Grow Clinton, a regional nonprofit organization focused on promoting business growth, building community, and advocating for the sustainable economic success of the greater Clinton region. Grow Clinton This Morning, a program in partnership with KROS.
Well, in for her final program, unless she returns to the community again, Lesley Webster got a new position.
Yes.
Tell us all about it.
Well, I'm going to be the executive director at a Salvation Army camp up in Wisconsin. So I'm really excited. I come from kind of a Christian camp background, so that's me returning to my roots.
And you said this was something you were interested in returning to.
Right. So, yeah, I really wanted to be back in Christian ministry. That's something that is my heart. And I really appreciate the fact that in this job, I've really had a lot of freedom to pursue things. So I've been able to be involved like with the nonprofit summit and do things like that really feed my soul. And so even though tourism really isn't related to ASAC or information and referral services, like I get to be able to promote them anyway and, help them out in the ways that I can do that personally. So I appreciate that. I've been ready to move back into that for my full-time job.
So tell us a little bit about where you're going, what they all do have to offer, and what your responsibilities will be.
Sure. Well, it's Sleep 700, so it's a very large camp and conference center. They are a ministry of the Salvation Army that is the North Central Illinois, I believe is what it's called. So most of their campers for their program come out of inner city Chicago, kids that have never been out of the city. And you bring them into nature for a week and let them experience all that summer camp does for them.
That's got to be eye-opening for them, I would
is.
think so.
I just, last week, some people know this, but last week I spent volunteering at a camp for foster kids that's run from Royal Family Kids Camp in the Quad Cities. It serves 3 different counties in the area, and it's kind of the same thing. You take kids out of the environment that they're in, and in that case, with a foster kids camp, they all come from backgrounds of abuse and neglect. So you're taking them out of a very negative environment, but you're putting, the whole goal of camp is put them in a new environment, give them new experiences, give them a chance to just kind of see life in a different way. And also because of things like the ropes courses or, a zip line or even swimming and stuff like that, you're giving them a chance to develop new skills and then to have a success, like take that success back with me.
You said this was something you were kind of hoping to get back into, but how did this come about?
Well, I actually got an email and it said we have, when I was job searching, I had all my resume, out on Indeed and all of those. And so my profile has still been sitting out there. And every time I've updated my resume to include things like this job and especially then when I added Fulton to that, I had updated that and stuff. And so, it said, we've been sourcing resumes and we think you would be a good fit for this position. And I looked at it and I said, oh, I would be a good fit for this position. So here we are.
So you've been with us how many years now?
3.5.
Okay,
Yep.
figure it was in that ballpark area. So what can you take from your 3.5 years to your new position?
Well, I'm so grateful for it. I think one of the big things going in, and when I interviewed with them, they asked, well, how would you be involved in the community? And I said, well, are you a part of your Chamber of Commerce? And they said, no. And I said, well, that will change immediately. So even that, just recognizing the involvement in what has been the Chamber or the CRDC, now we're Grow Clinton, like what the impact that has on getting to know your community and your community getting to know you. And so that is huge. I will go into that with having built those relationships. This morning I had my exit interview and one of the questions was, what do you like least about your job? Which my answer is voicemail. I hate answering voicemail. And then I said, but I guess also maybe networking, because I'm kind of a shy person. Like, I understand people don't know that because they don't see me in that role, but I have to force myself to be outgoing and to make those contacts. And so even though networking is personally not super comfortable for me, the fact that I've had to get real good at it is really helpful and beneficial. And it is really important in not just in business, in life. That's how we It's how we succeed in life, is by making connections with each other and helping each other make those connections.
That's interesting. I didn't picture you as not being outgoing.
I know. Because people meet me in leadership roles and they all think, well, you're super outgoing. No, I know how to turn it on, and then I go home and I just don't want to people at all.
Yeah. So an exit interview. That's interesting.
It's the first one I've ever done in a job, ever.
Yeah. So what did you think of it?
Of the exit interview,
Yeah.
I think it's great. They asked me questions about like, why are you leaving this, which has nothing to do with the job. And they're like, what could we have done differently to keep you? In this case, there is nothing. There is no reason that I was leaving the job because of the job. Everything I do is really cool. If somebody's out there listening and is thinking, I wonder what tourism does, you should check into it. It's a fun job. I get to promote everything in town. I get to promote every event, and I get to go to the events, and then I do a lot of traveling around the state of Iowa for the different tourism events and things like that, and Illinois as well, and it's just super cool to be able to get involved in all of those things. For somebody like me, that is really cool. The job is different every day.
You're visiting with Lesley Webster for the final time, getting ready to take on a new chapter in her life.
Right.
So you're going to leave somewhat of a void. Who's going to fill that void?
Right. So in the interim, Matt Parbs, who is our vice president at Grow Clinton, is the interim tourism person. So when I came on, I had a board, and Chris Wiersema and Matt Parbs were my board president and vice president. And those two people were people I just turned to constantly. Well, Chris Wiersema is our person who is now representing our committee with Fly Iowa, which is going to come next year. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the airport's going to be hosting an air show. So she's already involved in that committee. And then Matt is somebody that he and I like to tell him it's because of the fact that we're both nerds, like that we connected, and so he was somebody that I have gone to many, many times over the years. And when I first started this job, I was new in the industry, and there was so much that was new, and things would come out, and I say, Matt, I don't even know what to do with this. And he's like, do you want me to just do it? And I'd say, yes, please. And then show me what you did so I can do it next year. So that was really helpful. And so he'll be great at that. Yeah. And I know that he's already got some plans for that. Also, I currently have an assistant that she's amazing, and she's the person that kind of has done a lot of the day-to-day task stuff that has freed me up to do the bigger stuff within tourism and placemaking. So those people are already in place. It's going to keep functioning. I tried to get my ads, like I do a lot of print ads, and so I've tried to get those basically ready to go so that they're done through the year. I think there's actually a couple I have to go back and still do today.
And today is the last day.
And today's it. Yeah.
So now, is Matt going to be part of the rotation on our Grow Clinton show on Mondays?
I don't know that.
I hope so. I always enjoy
know.
visiting with Matt. That'll be fun. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and good luck in this new chapter.
Thank you. And we appreciate how KROS is so supportive of us. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.